I'll pin it.
You do it. Isn't that fun? It's trying to find it to pin it. And it has to be the feed. You can't go to your profile to see what you posted. It won't let you pin it from there for some reason. It's very particular about letting you pin it.
Don't worry. The first thing I see is a 4-day-old post because it's the most relevant. Got it.
Boom. Let's do this thing. Oh, snap. Captain Mustache himself.
Welcome to FFIB. I am Jason, and that is Tom, and we are Finger Flicked in Box. Like new? No. Finger Flicked? More accurate. We're coming to you live tonight to talk about knives and talk about the time, tell some stories, and I see the wild man, the one-wheeled Willie. Wheelie? I don't know. He's from Texas. He has a mustache. He has a one wheel, and he likes to cut things on the one wheel.
Very much so.
Brad Caldwell's here. What's up, Brad? Welcome to the show. Facebook is here. Paul Zimmerman is here. Paul's always here. Boo Booth. Yeah. Bill Booth, we're back and better than ever.
Wow. We never went anywhere. What are you talking about? We're back. We ain't
the wheelie and the Willie from Goonies at the same time, and then it kind of came together, and it didn't go so good. Texas for the win. Yeah, a lot of Texas in the club. Do not mess with them. Noel is here. What's up, Frank? Carl's here. Big crowd tonight already.
I'm loving it. I'm loving it a lot.
Christian's everywhere. I don't think he sleeps much either.
That's okay. There's a lot of people that rely on the group for off hours activity because you can either watch like the news at like midnight or an old rerun, or you can like dick around on the group. What are you gonna do?
We should rename the show The Refractory Period.
Woo! My last 30 minutes though.
What do we do with the rest of the hour? Danny's here. Hey, Danny. What have you been doing? Jeremy Roberts is here. Oh, well, I know what you've been doing. You've been putting holes in holes with your 9mm. That's what you've been doing. I really want to go shooting with you. It'd be a blast. I didn't mean it that way. It would be a awful lot of fun. Sure would be fun.
Good time.
Yep. Dan's out shopping for hot dudes.
Oh, for
something like that. I mean, sending me pictures. It's like, what are you doing, man?
It's so weird.
First, he said he went to a store that the ratio of women to men was 50-1, and then he goes across the street to the other kind of store, and the ratio was the other way. So he must have gone. I'm guessing he went from like a Bed Bath and Beyond style store to more of a Home Depot style store.
Yes.
Probably what happened. But I believe he's doing some home improvement today, so he's got to go get his stuff. What's up, Thomas? I was not productive today. I took a nap in the middle of the day.
That sounds yummy.
I kind of needed it. I'm worn out.
Yeah,
I had a long week, and I needed it. But at the same time, I had stuff to do. Hey, Frank, you want to talk about the? Do you want to talk about the Tiger?
Yeah, I do. I don't know what to talk. Man, has anything changed in the last 7 days?
Here's what we know, guys. It's a PM2. It's orange handles. It has M398 steel. The knife will be sold at cutleryshop.com. I honestly, truly don't remember the quantity. I think it's somewhere around 1,000 pieces.
I think it's 1,500. It was at one point.
We changed the number several times, and honestly, with Spyderco,
who knows how many they're going to deliver?
We don't know how many will show up because there will be seconds, right? And then there will be employees that buy them, and there will be collector clubs. So we'll have to see what the final number is, but there's definitely not enough to go around. But you might remember from the 2022 coin, there was an orange tiger climbing across a rock, right in front of a river and a mountain. So the reason we put that on there was we named the knife the tiger. If you're not familiar with the steel, I believe this is only the second knife ever to have it from Spyderco. The first was a mule team, and now it's going to be on a real knife. By real, I mean a production model
with a little pivot in the middle of it.
Yeah,
that's
the right.
important part.
Folding knife.
Yeah,
a folding knife. So M398 has the edge retention of S120V, S125V. It's better than S90V. It's better than S110V. It is not as good as 15V, but it's getting close. It's an extremely stainless steel. And in addition to that, the toughness is going to be approximately the same as like ZDP 189. So you guys are all familiar with that steel. I'm sure you've had a knife at this point that had it. So it's going to be slightly tougher than Maximate. It's going to be less tough than S110V, but in that ZDP 189 range. There is a secret on the knife that we're not going to reveal yet. It does have a feature that's never been on a Spyderco before. Pretty sweet.
Yeah.
The satin is going to be out first.
Good.
Satin blade with grind.
What do you think is going to be more popular?
I think I think the satin will ultimately be more popular. But it will also be available in DLC. We don't have a ship date on those yet. Where is my shipping info, Jeff?
Yeah, what the heck?
We could certainly add serrations if you want. So it's going to be a new steel that's never been on a PM2 before. It has a feature that we're not going to tell you what it is yet. It's going to be orange G10. We chose orange G10 and not unobtainium or carbon fiber or titanium or whatever, because we wanted to keep the price down. As much as we wanted to go baller, we felt like it was probably better to make a knife that everybody could reasonably afford. And there are many of you out there that have been socking away your quarters so you could buy this thing. We want you to be able to get it.
And honestly, what would you rather have? Some okay done fancy material from Spyderco, or really well done custom scales and really cool something different, maybe G10?
Tom just gave away a secret here. I think many of you are not going to want to rescale this knife. I think you're going to want to leave it factory. Just saying. Tom, have you happened to sharpen any M398 yet?
No.
I have.
Really?
Yes.
Was it a mule or was it something from Russia?
Some sort of metal wizard from Italy.
Oh, that's
happened
right.
Happened to make an M398 PM2 blade, and it was shared with me from a friend in Italy. And he told me, use it, cut it with it, sharpen it, and sharpen's fine. It's a high hardness steel, so Arkansas stone going to make a difference on this thing, but pretty cool. Tiger blood. Timely quote.
Oh, I remember that whole period. That was fun.
A Tiger Para 3 could happen later. It is not on order. Current model took 4 years. So do the math. Could be a while. By then, Spyderco will have their factory expansion done. They will be bigger. I'm sure they'll be faster and better. So, but as of right now, it's not pending. We're not allowed to talk about it yet. I agree. That's kind of a cool idea.
Yeah.
Sean would not approve. In case you're wondering, guys, Sean Houston, Big Brown Bear, Triple B handmade. He does not. He has 3 names, Tom. It's kind of weird. Oh, and then there's Noas Fratnu.
Yes.
But he doesn't approve of serrations. He finds it a little silly. He
really?
Sharpen.
Interesting.
Yeah, to him, it's like, why are you doing that? And then the answer is because they're cool, and he'll go, okay, whatever. Yeah. But if the answer is because it cuts better, he'll say, cuts what better? And that's the kind of answer that none of us have the answer to. Question that none of us have the answer to, right? Looks like we got satin. All right, kids, calm down. Pivot bushing would be sweet.
Oh, and don't get hopes up. I wish. That'd be really cool CQI thing if they rolled it out randomly, but I don't think so.
February. As of today, the shipping manifest has not delivered. It's not heat treated at all. You can do it yourself. Like, it comes with its own oven.
Yeah, it's like easy bake.
Serrations were a disaster on ZDP 189. I didn't know that. Did they do a Delica like that? Camden has serrations. Is Cameron a biter? Camden, excuse me. Is Camden a biter?
No. There was one in his class at one point, and I was thinking, like, do I have to like beat up a 3-year-old if he's going around biting my son? His name is Marco. But Marco was gone, so. But I didn't know that. Like, I didn't have to worry about, like, is my kid a biter? Because I would be embarrassed as a parent if my kid was going around nibbling on people.
Some kids are biters, you know. He's got a little tiny mouth, teeth, and I could see him like gnawing on you. Charlotte now will do it as a joke. Like, I'll grab her arm and I'll just go and try and chew on it. But we're just kidding around. Oh, dude, I introduced Charlotte to Ren and Stimpy today.
Oh, that is, I'm sure. Sounds good. That is the weirdest cartoon I can imagine from my childhood.
We watched this Sven Hoek episode, which might be their best. And by the end of it, she was like, that was violent. And I said, honey, this was on Nickelodeon, the kids channel, at like 11 in the morning on Saturdays. Yeah, it was like this and Rocco's Modern Life and Doug, Rugrats.
That's a real big range right there. They all go together because they were from my childhood. But like when they do the uber close-up things of Ren and Stimpy to gross you out, it was, I don't know. I'm not a big fan of it. It still grosses me out now. It's intense. And there's a lot of weird sexual stuff on that show that just was over the head.
On Doug?
No, on Ren and Stimpy.
Oh, sure. Yeah, John Kricfalusi is a savage. He's not normal. He actually did an animated video for the Tenacious D song, Fuck Her Gently.
Oh, yes.
And you can't even find it on YouTube anymore. It just,
oh, really?
Yeah, it's gone. But yeah, I guess he was only involved in like the first season of that show, and then he got fired from his own show. But yeah, she thought it was pretty funny, kind of gross. She liked the twist at the end that Ren would piss on the electric fence, whiz on the electric fence. So that was funny.
Nice.
If you guys are over 40, you'll remember. Happy. Joy. Yep. Most of the time it wasn't good, but sometimes it had its moments. Space Madness had its moments.
Well, you weren't productive today. I was productive today.
You put up like 19 live streams.
Well, this one counts as like 3 or 4.
3 or 4.
3 or 4. Because I don't sharpen everything at once. But This is what I was productive. I cleaned the house. The Adderall was kicking today. It was flowing good. And I was in the mode, and I was like taking out the garbage and stuff. And then I was sharpening. But this one kicked my butt.
Yeah, on my Tanto, I kind of gave up. I was working on it, and I could not get the full mirror on the whole tip.
It's so hard to do.
It was obvious that it was like belt sharpened because it's not a flat bevel. It's got a thing to it. So I got the front half shiny, but not the back half, and then I kind of gave up.
The hard part is, I learned this time when I pay attention to it. So if you can find the angle, it's not the same angle as the primer bevel. This one was 16 degrees. This is 16 degrees was the best medium to get the top of the bevel and the tip lined up to take that hump out with 16 degrees. You can't push down at all, because then it bends it, and then you don't get the whole bevel, and then it's flexing in the springs of my clamp. And all I want to do is polish it and push down.
You're not supposed to push down ever.
I push down all the time. No, but it's like when I'm sharpening this, it sticks out really far from the clamp, so it's like way more of a spring.
Yeah.
So if any way it goes, it like moves it, and I'm trying to chase these little scratches, and I'm like, if I push it at all, it won't get it. So that was fun. I did this 3 times today. I did it on camera once, and there was 2 scratches on it. It drove me crazy, so I just redid it. That was a challenge. It was worth it.
I agree, Brad. Yeah. I'm looking for a Sebenza 31. I think I need a small, and I just want a plain Jane, right-handed, because I want to give it to a friend of mine that won't be watching this, because I don't know what he does with his time, but he doesn't watch knife content. I want to give it to my friend. I want to turn him into a knife guy, and I think a small Sebenza plain Jane 31 would probably do the trick. So if anyone's watching this and you're holding one, hit me up, because I think that would do the trick.
Yeah.
Gunny glide those washers. I'm going to gunny glide it, and I'm going to make it work, put an edge on it. I think you dig it. Preferably not a Tanto. Let's go with a drop point, not an Insingo.
Just a normal standard blade.
Monkey's Edge has some. Thank you.
I bet they have frag pattern on them.
I want a monkey pattern.
Monkey pattern.
I don't love the Insingo. I know you guys like the Insingo. I know I'm not in the majority here. To me, I don't like the look of it. And I do think
that's a minority opinion right there.
I do think that a large would make me happy too, because I like the large better. But given that this guy's never been a knife guy, I think if I go large, it'll be too much in his pocket. If I go small, he'll grow into the large, and then that large will be the next one he gets.
Josh, I did not buy a spotty hole Sebenza yet. I'm going to. I sold my Arnold Bernard to make room for Sebenza in that spot in my case. And I don't want to buy one that's done. I actually want to modify this one myself, have it done. So I'm going to try to get one, I don't know, in a couple months. I don't want to buy a thing until like, it's my 40th birthday present. I want to buy it like 5 months from now. Then do it. Then make it special.
I think I know there's a bunch of guys that do Spidey holes. There's a lot of people that do it that I don't know that I would ask to do it. And then
I have a reputable name that was given to me that does a lot of them.
Yi Wong is doing an amazing job on that Bowie blade.
It looks awesome.
That fella knows what he's doing. So
absolutely perfect.
Alexa, stop.
Yeah. It's just got that sheepy thing going on that I'm not into. It does work well, but it's not my jam. Yep, some of those Spidey hole mods are done with Dremels and carbide bits, and they just kind of chunk away at the steel until it's gone, and you can end up with a hole that's not very round.
Yeah, I don't want a not very round hole. Round is probably number one thing I'm looking for in a hole is round.
But since it's a hardened steel, you can't run a drill bit into it either. You'll probably crack it. And on a Sebenza, you've got the problem of the thumb stud hole's already there.
Yeah.
And then you also have the blade getting thinner and thinner right there by the ricasso where you're going to put the hole. So it's definitely going to make for a knife that's going to be weaker.
For sure.
Yep. I don't know about Tom, but I'm excited.
Jason's probably more excited than me. I have a Sage, but Rex 121 is pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. You have some Rex 121 already, right?
When you get a knife,
tool.
when you get a knife that Rockwell's over 70, it's like that's some hard shit. You can't scratch it with another knife. You can't scratch it with sandpaper. Like regular sandpaper won't scratch it because the hardness is lower. So.
It's not a bad idea. I mean, it sounds like an expensive idea, but it sounds something fun.
I agree. I do have Rex 121. It sharpens fine, guys. It just takes twice as long as any other blade. It really does take a long time. I spent 5 hours once trying to reprofile it from like 24 degrees to 19, I think. I picked a higher angle just to be careful. And yeah, it took a long time. I just couldn't get it to apex. So it would, the Sharpie line would get smaller and smaller, and smaller, and smaller, and smaller. And then when it got to here and then here, like it just took forever.
No, it doesn't go away. Once it's there, it's like it's an illusion. I don't know. It knows how it's stubborn. That last little bit.
Well, if you use your magnifier like I sent you, you can see that the steel shavings are actually extending down past the blade, and they'll still contain Sharpie. So you'll be looking at it, and you can see the red or the blue or the black or whatever color you choose. Mm-hmm. And when you look at it, and then you figure out how to wipe it off with something, you go, oh, it was the shavings all along. It's pretty wild.
Yeah.
By the way, I learned a trick from Scott Gunn. If you want to wipe a burr off a blade without dulling the blade, a great thing to use is a really soft piece of wood. So balsa, cork, or I know for me, I keep these little what are they called? Clothespins around because we use them on chips in my house, and I take them apart and I use them as wedges in case I need to knock a knife apart and I can't get it apart. I can wedge it, but the end grain works really good for rubbing a burr off, and you want to use the end grain. So you just take the knife. Let's see. You take the knife and as gently as possible, you just pull it like this along the wood, just super gentle. And what you're doing is you're using the wood to scrub the burr off. We'll talk more about that later. Can't talk about it tonight. We'll talk about it next week. Yeah, and then Brad, if you take one this way and one that way, and you push them together, they get thicker. Ooh. So sometimes you get a lanyard tubes, Tom, that just won't come out. You just take one from each side and cram them together, and it goes ping, pops out.
Nice.
Okay, old man, just give in. Maybe you'd be interested in a nice. Maybe it'd be in a nice case.
Sharpening, like plain sharpening, the steel, if you have good stones, isn't that different in time. It's reprofiling. That's when when you're taking off chunks of steel. That's when you test it. But you can sharpen Rex 121 without too much hassle once it's profiled.
Haygood knows what to do. You pop in the extended edition of Return of the King, and you go to town. Yeah, buddy. Mr. Frodo. This is my old one. This one's got the... I was just psyching you guys out. This has got the other backspacer. Mr. Frodo, we can do it. No, Sam, I'm too tired. I must lay down. No, we got to keep going for the Shire. He says that like 90 times. If you edit out Sam, I think the movie would be better.
I haven't seen that movie, obviously.
Tom doesn't like movies. I'm old like Beatty. How dare you? I was told today that Knife Joy will be announcing it soon. So hopefully by next weekend we can talk about it. Hi, guy. In case you didn't know, Tom and I nicknamed the Sliz Bowie the GOAT because at the time we had a discussion about what's the best Spyderco model that if they were to bring it back from discontinued, what would be the best model to bring back? And we decided that that was the GOAT discontinued knife. Now, our point has been mischaracterized to say that it's the GOAT knife. It's not what we're saying. We're saying of the discontinued models, it's the GOAT. But by then, we called it the GOAT. We stuck with it. It was fun to kind of inflame the masses a little bit and made us a little scandalous.
That's
It's
part of
YouTube
it.
friendly.
People need to understand is, yeah, it's the Sliz Bowie. What's better than it, Jason? What's better than it? It's poking it. It's calling it out. It's very confident in its position as the GOAT, I think.
Well, I'll ask the group, like, what discontinued Spyderco is better?
Part of it's also the story of how it got discontinued. Because it didn't get discontinued on the discontinued list. It was like July or June. They're like, oh yeah, by the way, this Sliz Bowie's done. It just got popular, and Nick Shabazz just made a video about this blowing up. So we're going to discontinue it. And then it disappeared. And then it got really, really, really popular.
Hey, if Shepard's watching, it would be a good time to fire up some backspacers. I think if you've got any cool and unusual material, it'd be a good time to do that because when these drop, you know, people are going to want to upgrade. And I happen to know that he makes them.
Eric made me want a dark matter. It's pretty cool.
I've had a purple one, a pink one, a tuxedo colored one, a Micarta one, and it's funny, the orange G10 is the one that kind of stuck. So yeah, just whip out, you know, grab your, like, I know you got scraps in the corner, like stuff that you can't quite make other things from. Maybe you can whip out like some different colors, but that would be a cool idea. It's a really awesome knife. It is a really awesome knife. What I don't like about it is that people love to compare it to every other knife under the sun, and then they argue about price. And it's like, whatever, man. Like there's shittier knives that cost more, and there are better knives that cost less. And then there's preferential differences that everybody is entitled to their own opinion. But objectively, it's a fantastic Spyderco.
Isn't it made in China?
No, it's made in Taiwan.
Exactly. So I don't know. I understand the drive for liking American-made products, but it's not like it's made cheaply in a third world country.
I've tried so hard to like the Nirvana Carl, and I got a couple beefs with it, and man, I just want to love it. The blade's not good for cutting, whereas the Bowie is. The lock stick is really bad on most of the ones I've handled. The clip it can't be replaced with anything else, and I don't love the clip. But mostly, like either it has really bad lock stick, or the over travel is not over travel. It's the wrong term. It doesn't just lock up a percentage of the lock bar. It's like how close will it be to the presentation scale. So that one that one was rough. They're not easy to make. So I've only handled one that was excellent.
Yes.
Brad Caldwell coming in hot.
It's truth. Spitting truth.
I didn't like the Paysan. It was tough. The Brewer's good. It's a good knife.
It's good. But it didn't have like an impact. You know what I'm saying? It didn't have like a cultural phenomenon surrounding it. People aren't buying them up for triple the price.
I've never seen anybody say Grail Brewer. The domino and the dice.
Does Steven have an alternate profile named James Gadd?
No, it's really a different person.
Okay.
Moderator Stephen Thompson was clearly the domino and the dice of the Spyderco's ever made. I wish we could get Steven on the line so you guys could hear him talk, because that's what he sounds like. He also really hates it when I use his voice.
Good thing he doesn't watch your show.
How is the Bowie in the left hand? Well, you're never going to thumb flick it because the lock bar covers half the hole. So that won't work. If you can finger flick it, that means you're able to reach around the back of the knife to finger flick it without putting your thumb on the lock bar, which is not easy. So no. My recommendation would be to do this. You pinch it with your finger and your thumb to get it out halfway and then open it with your thumb. So not a flicky knife left-handed. And if you carry it left-handed, it doesn't sit in the pocket great. You're just going to have to carry it right-handed. Definitely what you don't want to do, 100% no, is you don't want to flip the clip around.
Ooh, don't do that.
It looks really, really dumb to put the clip on the non-lock bar side of a knife.
And scratches it. Scratches
and
the
it scratches. Yes, Tom, it scratches it. Also, if you want to pimp your ride on your Bowie, I recommend you go over to ripsgaragetech.com and get one of his wire clip replacements. They're bad to the bone. And they look really good on a Sliz Bowie. The blade's too wide, so it doesn't cut well. The blade's too heavy, so it falls out of the handle. The detent is very light, so the blade opens easily. The lock bar sticks pretty bad. The lock bar is too short in tallness, so not only does it move this way, but it moves this way. And when it moves this way, that means every time you go to unlock it, you're actually pushing it down, which makes it lock more. So it's harder to open.
It doesn't have lock stick. You make it have lock stick because of the way it's designed.
Yes. If you could somehow open the lock bar this way without pushing it down, then it clears.
Yeah. But the way you have to open that knife causes lock stick. So when I owned mine, it bothered me so much that it had lock stick that I would operate it with two hands and pull my index finger to pull it sideways just so I could pretend my knife didn't actually have lock stick because it made me feel a little bit better. Mine was atrocious.
Brad Caldwell is not shy with his opinion on the Payson.
It's also exceptionally expensive now. When people make you could buy this or that, if I'm going to make that comparison to the Payson, you could buy an Arius or you could buy a Payson.
All right, Gad, what's your request? I think you should try it because you might love it. But I would recommend trying it before you buy it, or wait for the right one, and don't be afraid to resell it if it's not for you. I don't want to play guitar in a knife show. We're here to talk. We're here to talk about knives. I do have guitars, but I'm not wanting to jam tonight. Haven't you guys ever sat with somebody who's playing guitar and you don't know what to do with yourself? It's kind of uncomfortable to have one person play guitar to you. You don't know if you're supposed to. Yeah, do you clap along? Do you smile? How long do you smile? What if he's playing a 7-minute song? Do you have to smile the whole time? If you stop smiling, will it freak him out? And then guitar players tend to get something called guitar face. So while they're playing, they end up making a face that looks like they either have to poop or they're trying to do long division in their head.
Vinegar stroke face.
So you really don't know what to do then because they're staring right through you and they're making their weird face and it kind of makes you feel weird. So I don't want that for you guys.
I saw a pretty good meme today. It was like, what's longer? 1 minute on a treadmill. A minute on treadmills are like infinity. Or a minute being forced to watch a YouTube video in person that's not funny, but someone that loves it. That's like watching someone play guitar to me. It's like, I don't know what to do. I'm just sitting here and I'm pretending to like it.
I have an option 3, listening to somebody else tell you about their fantasy football team.
Ooh. Trades.
Not in your league. Not
the waiver wire.
I don't care. I don't want to hear about your team.
You don't want to get on the waiver wire?
Steve, I can only imagine what you savages are doing while we're doing the show. I can only imagine. Sure, it's not boring.
No.
It's probably illegal. My HR director just sent a text showing that she's writing handmade notes for the perfect attendance winners for Q4.
Oh, how cute!
Saturday night, she's working.
I would say that sounds.
You wish
really
you worked for
important.
somebody like that.
What's that?
You wish you worked for someone like that.
No, I don't. Boundaries, Jason. Boundaries. It's home time.
Well, you live in New Zealand. Most things are illegal there.
Mm.
You're having a tough time down there. It's time for change. Tell your friends.
Speaking of New Zealand, isn't that where Mr. Pete lives from Cedric and Ada?
No. How dare you?
I honestly don't know. I thought he was from there.
He's an Aussie. He's from Australia.
He is an Aussie. Okay. Maybe I mixed Steve up because I thought Steve was from Australia.
Nope. Steve's in New Zealand.
Steve is from New Zealand. Okay.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Steve. I believe you're still under a COVID lockdown. I believe that wasn't lifted. Isn't that true? I would love to go to New Zealand. It's unbelievably beautiful there. I've known several people from there, and they're the best. Go see Frodo. But also, Tom, secretly, possibly the best chocolate I've ever eaten in my life comes from New Zealand. Oh, it's good. I'm glad it's gone. Thank you.
Is it made in a shire?
I'm lucky enough to have a couple knife friends that live down there in New Zealand, and from time to time they send me chocolate bars, and they're out of this world. And the fun part is, Tom, the flavor profiles are stuff you just don't get in the US, like floral flavors added. Yeah, or fruits that you don't get here in the US. It's pretty cool. Whitaker, thank you. It is Whitaker. Just delicious and interesting. US chocolate is shit. It's bullshit. Our chocolate is marginally chocolate.
I had some M&Ms the other day, and that was slapping. You know.
That's true.
Actually, you know what was secretly really good? Kim bought a bag of Hershey Kisses. Just those simple little, just melt in your mouth drops of chocolate. It's not fancy. It's like they're like 3 cents a piece. They're pretty tasty. I ate the whole bag myself.
They taste like Joey to me.
Like what?
Joey Arcarola.
Okay.
Yeah. Shouldn't have said that.
Hershey, Pennsylvania.
Yeah, I shouldn't have said that out loud. Too late.
It's okay.
No. Yeah. So New Zealand's good. Chocolate, American chocolate can be good, but not often. And then I don't know. Think about your average American, man. We're over here eating Sour Patch Kids and Reese cups. Like, what do we know about chocolate food?
Snickers. It's got nougat too.
Food is fresh. Lots of sheep. Good place to go. Mountains, oceans, all kinds of things. Beautiful wildlife. Yeah, man. I want to go. Thumbs up, he says. Hokey pokey ice cream. Tom, you're an ice cream connoisseur. Tom's kind of a snob. He only likes his hometown ice cream.
It's just the best that is cheapest. Part of the reason I like my hometown ice cream is I bought 3 half gallons this week, and they were $3.49 a piece, and that's good. So it's like it's price and good. I'm not saying it's the best in the world, but it's the best $3.49 ice cream you can buy.
Dude, Dr. Bronner's is both the best soap and the weirdest soap maker ever. Do you know that brand, Tom?
No.
I think the founder was a cult leader. The soap company's been around like 150 years. Okay. And when you buy a bottle of it, it has so much text all over it. You can barely you can read it all. Pulling up a picture right now.
Okay.
Bring in the receipts, Tom.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think this dude was a cult leader. Looks like he makes chocolate, everybody. Okay, let me get this going. Share screen. Can you pull that note off? Share. All right, so Dr. Bronner's. Let's go to the soap. We're going to shop.
Are the soap and the chocolate related, or are they just totally separate products?
I sure doubt it.
Okay.
They call it an 18-in-1 soap because you can do anything you want with it. It's just pure Castile soap, which is like the super granola kind of soap. But see
Okay.
the bottle?
Yeah.
Cleanliness is next to godliness. Teach the moral ABC stuff that unites all mankind, instantly kills. Oh, we're going to be instantly 6 billion strong. We're all in. Like the whole bottle is just full about like mankind and how we're going
Weird.
to save the world with soap and how to be a better person. There's stuff in here about Adam and Eve being a sinner. Like, man,
Is there like religious undertones to this, or cult-like followings, or
I
Masonic
I think
symbols?
Dr. Bronner took a lot of mushrooms. So
Oh, well, I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that.
looks like you can get a half gallon.
Why not?
One gallon. Hell yeah.
More room to write on the bottle.
This 32-ounce bottle, by the way, Tom.
Yeah.
I use it for body wash in the shower. It lasts a year.
No. Oh, you actually, this isn't just like you are actually actively using this stuff.
I do use it.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, you can get it for $12. You get a year. It's pretty good.
Very solid.
Yep. Probably works on knives. Works in the laundry. It's the duct tape of soap. Tim Tams, definitely the best. They even have a method for eating them. You're supposed to take a bite out of one end, you take a bite out of the other end, you make a mug of hot tea, and then you use it like a straw to suck the tea up. And it melts the whole inside of the cookie, and then you pop it in your mouth, and it just squishes in your mouth. It's pretty good. Yeah, but it's like 5 years of soap. David, who doesn't want 5 years of soap? It's pretty good. We got chocolate talk. We got soap talk. We should probably get back to knife talk. You sharpened anything strange and unusual lately?
A lot of CRKs. That's like become my thing. I don't even own one, but people see that I sharpen one and they want theirs sharpened. So I'm on board with it. It's great. They're fun to sharpen, and the results are cool. And everyone lets me mirror them. Nothing super unique. I have literally 3. Oh, I gotta get one out.
You had if I may, you had a really interesting observation about the CRK people. Do you remember what you told me?
That they actually want their knives sharpened and worked on because they use them.
Yeah, you said that CRK owners tend to use their knives, right? So it's not sharpening for Instagram; it's sharpening because it's dull and they want it sharp again.
Yes, but also that because every CRK I've done, I haven't done a satin CRK yet. They're all mirrors and they're all very sharp, but they're all on knives that people actually do carry. It's a cool combination. I don't know. People are willing to deflower the edge, I guess, and take off the factory edge. It's not a big deal with these. It's not so precious, maybe. I will say one thing I have observed in my years of Instagram. Everyone assumes that expensive knives, like the more expensive, the more custom, the more crazy your knife is, the more likes and attention and engagement you're going to get on Instagram. That is 100, couldn't be farther from the truth. The more relatable, but cool and like aspirational, but achievable. So something that like you could conceivably have it given a budget, whatever, gets more attention. So like when the Micarta PM2 first got announced, I posted a picture of mine and it was getting like 1,000 likes because it was like new, but like you can get that. So Spyderco's on Instagram get more likes than any other knife. The other one that does good, everyone loves the CRK. Everyone loves the CRK Instagram. So these get attention in a positive way. They have a very good following. I'm starting to really like this brand, I will say. But it's also cool that it's like, I don't know, these get more likes than Koenig's get, I would say, when I post them. And that's saying quite a bit. Deflower the edge.
I heard it, Chase. He said deflower.
That's right. Yes, Spyderco knives get most engagement on Instagram. That's okay. That's the way it is.
So really, Tom's probably getting mostly 35 VN because that's what they made the most of. They were only on 45 VN for 2 years, 3 years, I think, and then they switched to MagnaCut. So
I guess that's what I was wondering, because they still do both, right? They still do 45 and MagnaCut.
I don't think they intend to do both.
Okay.
I think they're going to do one. Tim Reeve told me that he doesn't like to do more than one steel, and he felt good that the 45 VN could be used for most of the knives. And if they switch to MagnaCut, then he wants to switch all of it to MagnaCut, just to simplify his life. And from a polishing and heat treat and grinding standpoint, switching is annoying. It requires different equipment, different methods and processes. So not so simple. Talk to a knife maker about MagnaCut and get their opinion. You'll probably be surprised at how much they don't love to work with it, because it's just very different from other steels in the way that it cuts and works. We're in the process of asking right now. He's a busy man, but it's been almost a year since we had him on, so we're working on it.
What's been so far is every year after SHOT Show, sometime this spring-ish, we should have him back, hopefully.
I think only the steel maker has a knife selection as good as Spyderco. Nobody's close. I believe Benchmade's only using maybe 4 to 6 steels. Nobody else has steel like Spyderco. So you're in the right place if that's what you like to play with. If you're interested in understanding and exploring the differences in steels, this is the best place to be. These guys pioneer the steels that everybody else uses, flat out.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean they're the very first to market, but it definitely means that they're the first to figure out how to do it in a big way.
This is the next thing I'm sharpening.
What is it? Oh, is that a
DLC Umnumzon?
The Blade DLC?
Yeah.
Wow. Do you know who did it?
Time ask his clip. This thing is sweet. That's next up.
I heard what DLC costs from a knife maker, and I was a little shocked because I know what aftermarket guys charge for it. So it seems like if you can prep the parts and get them to the coder in a quantity that makes sense, it's not very expensive to do. We think of it as being pretty exotic, and it's not. One thing you guys ought to know is that when you coat a blade with DLC, the blade has to get very, very hot in order to get it to stick. And the heat actually messes with the heat treatment and the austenizing of the blade. So it's not exact in my mind. It's in my opinion, it's not exactly the same to have a DLC blade and a satin blade. If you were to test them both really hard, I think you'd find that they might perform slightly different because of that. And now a PVD coating has to go on even hotter. That's more like 900 degrees. So if you look at the tempering for most knife steels, Tom, it's usually in the 400 to 500 range. So what they will often do is they'll use the coating cycle as the tempering cycle. But if you were to take your knife and you were to put it in a toaster oven,
yeah,
or if you were to drop it on a burner on your stove and get it over a certain temperature, it will mess with the temper.
Yeah.
So that's why they say, sharpening can cause the problem. Now, when you're running sharpener across the edge of a knife where it's very, very thin, it's easy to heat it up. So we all talk about burnt edges on knives and how it affects the sharpness or the edge retention. That's what we're referencing. Yeah. But whether or not it actually does get hot enough, it's hard to say.
Brad, you hit it. How do you open these things? This is I figured out Semenza. I can do it in Kasi. I wish if I could open with these, I would get this. This would be my
Your fingers are all over the lock bar when you hold it up to the camera. I can see you're pinching the lock bar.
There we go.
Yeah. The lock bar as a percentage of the scale is pretty wide.
Yeah. I'm pressing the clip, which is pressing the lock bar.
That too.
It's one of those knives that does that. Okay. I was happy I could open a Sabenza. That made my day when I can now roll open a Sabenza.
I saw a Kunwu where they took a knife and they scratched the DLC with another knife and then wiped it off with some Windex and there wasn't anything there. Yeah, they use a really good coating.
Was that a Metal Complex video or something like that?
No, it was posted in the Kunwu group.
Oh, okay.
We're in the process of talking to Sergio at Kunwu to get him on the show. He is currently traveling to China to go to his factory and meet with his people. So he's unavailable for most of the month of February, but into March, we're going to get him on. I'm excited to talk to him because I've gotten to know him pretty well in the last couple months, and he's a phenomenal guy. Awesome dude, very funny. Really knows his business, knows his products. Is also a monster Spyderco fan. He's constantly buying Spydercos. So loves Spydercos, loves steels. He's definitely a man of the people. So if you're not in the Kunwu group, I'd recommend it. You can go over and find it, and some good knife talk over there. Good people. And Brian Tidd is like the mayor of Kunwu town.
So it's the Padre, right? That's the hot one right now of the models that there's like an exclusive that just dropped from Rec, and then I've been hearing people talk about the Padre a lot.
He's had many hot models. It's hard to say. Like, legitimately, this guy's got bangers. So first he had the Pulsar, and that was pretty popular. The Chad came along next, which is objectively cool, even for a sheepfoot. And then after that was the Django, and the Django is kind of like a Bowie bladed X-Tau. And then after that came the Padre, which is similar to maybe like if a Stitch had a baby with a Evo, and then somebody like modified it a little bit so it was a little smoother. It looks like that. Very cool knife. And then now he's got a Pulsar XL that just dropped, which is significantly bigger than the Pulsar, and that's become a hot one. So a lot of cool knives over there.
I mean, I'm watching the comment section go crazy with this Kunwu talk right now, which is great.
Yeah, he makes awesome knives. I've got 4 that I'm going to send you so you can check them out. I've honestly held back because you tend to be the kind of person that only likes what you like, and you don't like anything you don't like. And I've been worried that if I show them to you, you're going to go, not my jam, and I won't like them. But I think at this point, you've been handling a lot of new knives lately, and I think you're probably in a cool place where you're going to be like interested to see them for yourself. But
I guess you have to understand, it's like I only like what I like, but I'm open to liking anything. I just like I have particular tastes. But those look cool. They look really cool. Like I've seen so many pics of the Padre, probably because Brian Tidd's been posting them, that it's really caught my attention. And then I talked to Zach Zach Cooper the other day, and he was just couldn't stop talking about Kunwu stuff. And I was like, okay, I guess I gotta look at it.
I need to tell you guys a story because you're my friends, and I think it'll make you laugh. It just so happens that Sergio from Kunwu is in a relationship with Countess Anne, the Hank maker. So they're I don't know exactly if they're married or if they're just an item, but they're together, and
they're going steady.
Yeah, right. They're steady, and it just I've known Anne for a long time, and she's one of my favorite people in the knife community. She's awesome, and I met Sergio through her, right? So today I sent Sergio a note and I said, "Hey, Tom and I want to have you on FFIB. I think you should do this because we want to talk about the Wu, and also not for nothing, but you're my second favorite Serbian, and I'd love to have you on." And he writes me right back, and he goes, "Second favorite? Who's your favorite? I'll off him." And then he goes, "Oh fuck, it's Anne." So that was funny. It made me laugh really hard. And yeah, we're gonna have him on it at the minimum. I've been trying to talk her into coming. She says her English isn't good, but I don't believe her.
I asked her today, and she said she will, but not yet.
Yeah, I've heard not yet for 3 years. We need to work on that one. I do know that I'm in the conversation with her about doing a new Hank I had a really funny idea for Club Hank, and she's always down. She's got an ability to get fabric locally now that doesn't require ordering, so it'd be faster. And she always offers free shipping. And I don't know, it'd be fun to do. We haven't done a Hank in a while, so I'd love
Are
to
we
do
allowed to
something.
have an NC-17 Hank?
I mean, we can, but I'd like a plus 18 Hank, if you know what I mean. Yeah, I'm thinking something tiger themed. Why not?
Yeah.
Kanwu Knives official asylum. That's right. And dude is hilarious. He's a riot. He wants to have fun with knives. He does have a request. He doesn't want to see other knives in his group. He just wants to see his knives. And I don't blame him. It's cool. He says the reason is he never sees his knives in other groups. So if you have a Kunwu and you post it in the Millie Club, which you're welcome to do, I want you to tag Sergio in it so he knows to an obnoxious degree how much you guys are freaks for his knives.
What is his last name? Sergio
Baldrick.
Maldrick with an M?
Baldrick with a B.
Baldrick. Okay.
Everything in your life got more expensive in the last 12 months. Everything got more expensive, but you knife guys only seem to notice that knives get more expensive. So it is what it is. Spyderco changed their minimum advertised pricing policy. It used to be 30% off retail was what everybody sold it for. They changed it to 25. So that causes an increase. They also gave all their people bonuses and they raised everybody's salaries. And then steel got more expensive and shipping got more expensive and plastic got more expensive and cardboard got more expensive and electricity got more expensive because we're not making it with cheap stuff. We're making it with expensive stuff. So all that to be said, they had to raise their prices. And I had an anti-capitalist argue with me yesterday about greed. What do you call it? Greedflation, and how greedflation is obviously fueling it. And there's plenty of that to go around, but I don't think it's in the knife world. So I think it's going to happen and there's nothing you can do about it. I do think that Spyderco's prices are fair in the market for what you buy. You can always go get a Civivi if you don't think their prices are good, and you'll get a really nice knife, and it'll be fine, but it won't be a Spyderco. Well, they ain't coming M398. Could they could buy one and you'll get the Kun Flu. That's right, the Kun Flu, Tom. The only cure is another one. So in the group, I actually put together a pass around and nobody signed up. So if anybody watching this would like to see the Kunwus, I have 4. I'm going to send them to Tom. And if you want them next, then you can. I just need you guys to DM me saying you want them and I'll add you to the list and you can check them out.
And I'll send them to the next person.
This is something you need to know. The X-Tau I've taken apart because I wanted to see how it looked inside. It was super clean and I lubed it and I put it back together. The Pulsars, I have 2. I didn't take them apart at all, and I didn't lube them. So as they come out of the package, that's how they came to me. And then the Padre, you're going to have to suffer that it's left-handed. Too bad.
Yeah.
But also, that's one I didn't lube and I didn't take apart. It's exactly as it came to me. Those knives are dialed in perfectly. And that's because Sergio went to the factory and he trained them on how to set up the knives. He said, I want you to do this on every knife. And they have a team of people that literally set up the knives the way that we all set up knives. So when they show up to you, they're perfect.
Nice.
Yeah. The Bodacious, I'm excited about. It looks like we've
Fancy
got a Shaman 2.0 kind of thing going on. So I'm excited to check one out.
But they don't make enough new models, Jason. They just need to do something different.
I know, right? One thing you guys need to know about Spyderco is they will show a picture of a knife and they'll talk about a knife, but no one knows when anything's coming. They don't calendar it. So the only way we know it's coming is one of your favorite dealers will get a manifest in their email saying that they've got something on the way, and then we'll know that it's coming. That's it. Yep, Brad and Brian Tidd have both seen them. I think Seth saw them. After that, they went to Loffer, and then they came back to me, and nobody. They didn't end up getting to you, Tom.
Well, Come with me next. That sounds good. That'll be fun.
Funny, they're boxed up and they're in the hallway out there in a box, ready to rock. They just need a label, and I can't carry them or use them or play with them because they're all ready to go. It's been annoying. Yeah. Today I was like, I should probably break them open because I want to carry that pulsar again. I don't remember who it was, but I sent them out with the clips on the left side on purpose just to torture everybody because 3 of them have access locks. And I left the clips on the wrong side just so you guys would know what it's like. And somebody switched them back. I think it was Brad.
Well, I thought you were trying to get a good impression of these knives, Jason.
Right. Yeah, I'm okay with it. One thing they do on the Kunwus, if they do have like a bar lock, like this tactile turn, if you take the clip off and you move it to the other side, there's a little metal piece that pops out.
Oh yeah.
So the clip goes in, and then you can take the other metal piece and you can put it in. So there's 2 metal fills for the one clip.
Like a hinderer?
Like a hinderer, but not as obnoxious. It's more like more refined.
You mean it doesn't have like a giant flag on it with a huge weird screw and like
it doesn't say Mullen. It doesn't have a Spartan helmet.
Oh man, I got to show you this one.
It doesn't have a Roman numeral 3.
Yeah. It doesn't have. Look at this crazy thing. It's well done. It's so well done.
I'm really torn on those, man. They're well done. That's a Spartan Harsey, right?
Yeah.
They're really well done. But whoever it is in charge at the Spartan company, he's a dickhead. He's a complete dickhead. So
interesting.
Yeah. When I worked at that knife store last summer, the guy was a complete asshole. So yeah. Also, they need to learn how to grind a knife because the edge just disappears as you get closer and closer to the choil.
When I got this, I thought of 2 things. Like, that is an intense engraving, and god damn it, I have to do the heel on this thing again.
You can't do the heel on it.
No, they don't have a heel. They just kind of stop. So it just kind of stops, fades out into nothing.
Yeah.
Which is nice because I don't have to have super high expectations because there's not great to start with, but it's like, it's a bummer that I can't have a nice clean mirror stop.
Have you ever tiled a floor?
Not personally, but I've watched it a couple of times.
Whenever you tile a floor, there's always a corner somewhere where all the math doesn't work out, and there's always going to be one shitty tile.
Yeah.
Or 2. If you can narrow it down to just one spot behind the toilet where there's the shitty tile, then you did good. Mm-hmm. That's that spot on that knife.
Yeah,
it's a sum of the arrows of the engineering of the blade, and at that point they can't sharpen it.
I did get one in that had a sharpening trail cut on it, and it's solved that, which was nice.
But it is a beautiful knife. It's nice in the hand. The price is good. They're made in the U.S. It's a veteran-owned company that was founded by military, so it's got lots of stuff about it that I like. But that one asshole, he can piss off. I wish I knew his name because I call him out. But
not Bill Harsey, not Bill Harsey, or someone else.
Oh no. Okay. Yeah, the guy actually came over to the booth at Blade Show and started cussing at Brian. He's cussing at him.
And Brian is so aggressive all this time.
Right. Say what you will about that store. Brian is a gentleman, and he didn't deserve it. And it was all horseshit. And right there in the middle of the aisle in front of customers, everyone's busy. He came over and started cussing at Brian. It's just inappropriate. And it was about something that didn't need to be discussed in the middle of the aisle at Blade Show. So I was really already on edge that weekend. And then that happened. It was just like, isn't anyone unprofessional in this industry? What are we doing? Why can't people be nice to each other? So why would you cuss out Brian Kent? I don't know. Anyway, everybody's writing this down. Clip this later. I love my Spartan Harsey folder and the 3 1/4 blade with Nichols Damascus. That sounds badass, and it sounds like Brad's perfect knife.
It does.
I'm good at figuring out people's styles and what they're into. And Brad, I got nailed like that 3 1/4 inch range. It's just like magic for him. So they're cool knives. The full size is more my, and I almost bought a couple. Maybe later.
Yeah, I changed how I receive packages now.
You did?
I used to like be really worried that like, okay, I don't want to open a package until I'm ready to sharpen it, which is a problem because sometimes I'll open a package and I'll be like, I don't fucking want to sharpen this right now. It'll be something really hard to sharpen or really lame or whatever it may be. So now I open everything that comes in, which is nice because I can identify better like when to do it, but also like I know whose it is. Sometimes there are instructions inside that says like their contact info instead of me just trying to rely on the outside. So now I try to get a hold of people earlier because I'm really running only like 2 days, 3 days out. So stuff's happening fast, but it's really fun getting stuff in and just sitting down. And I've been getting so many cool knives in. It's like Christmas. It's like being a knife reviewer.
It's probably a good idea to leave them boxed up. You know, even get a Sharpie in right on the end of the box, like, you know, when the date it showed up or something like that, so you can shelve them. Yeah, there you go. That way,
I have a shelf. They write the date that comes in on them, and I stack them in order over there.
Yep. That way you don't accidentally miss something.
Yeah, it's nice to be able to figure out when stuff's been sitting for a minute.
I lost a dude's knife a year and a half ago, and I'm still pissed. What's up, Gio? What's happening out there?
What up?
Show started at 9 Eastern time. We always go Eastern because most of the country lives on the East Coast, and also like TV programming will always tell you what time it is East Coast. So we decided to go with that. So good news is you can go back and watch.
Yeah, you get to.
Harsey folders, perfect cross between a nice hinderer and a Sabenza. It's a pretty good way of putting it. It definitely draws inspiration from each line, right?
I don't know what happened to my thumb, but I can open that thumb stud knife. I can open a Sabenza now. Must have been working it out a lot. It just took 20 years of playing with thumb studs before I could actually use them.
I'm at a strange point in my collection where I'm looking through my drawers trying to figure out, like, I've got multiple knives that just I don't carry anymore and they don't make me happy and I don't know why I have them. And there's one in particular that I have that I should probably sell. And then every time I go to touch it and I pick it up and I hold it, I end up putting it back. And that's the Three Rivers Atom. Yeah. I have a titanium handled Atom, and it's got fluting in it, and it's a 3D handle tie. Mm-hmm. So it's gorgeous, but man, I just don't carry it.
Really?
Yeah, I need.
Wait, the Atom is the bigger one, and
yeah, it's the PM2 size.
Okay.
These things are beautiful. They're made in the U.S. You guys want American-made nice knives? These are awesome. Like, and then the Halperns couldn't be cooler, people. Really nice knife. It's very slicey. It's a very thin blade. It's got a nice edge. You can clamp it when you sharpen it. They use 20 CV steel. Really just a great knife.
Titanium liners, right? And it's
that's right. Titanium liners. Runs on washers. It's got studs.
Tons of scale options, and they're factory scale options. They're not just aftermarket. Like from TRM, you can get
the factory scales are cheap. Yeah, so I keep it out of respect for the company and for the admiration of the brand and all that, but I just don't carry it. I need to, I don't know, maybe I carry it more. I don't know. I know there's a bunch of TRM fans out there. They're cool, great people. So the Halperns have been working titanium longer than almost anybody in the knife world. And there was a time where other knife companies would hire them to make their tie for them. And if you hold this knife and you look at the fluting and you look at the quality of the milling, pretty sure that this is probably where Spyderco got their millie.
Oh, yeah.
I happen to know that the fluted millie was not made in-house, so Spyderco did not make this handle.
Which makes sense. Yeah.
Think about all the machinery they would have had to buy, and then they don't use it anymore. I can prove it, right? They don't make any fluted tie knives anymore. They would
had
still
the
be making
native, and they had that one.
Yep. So also the Halperins have been around a long time. Sal's been around a long time. I'm sure they're bros. So yeah, cool knives. The G10, the Micarta, all sorts of options on the TRMs. Bro, no doubt that'll be a badass knife.
That'll be cool. And then maybe we'll actually finally see. That's kind of been my biggest letdown, because I knew this was gonna happen. Millie 2 finally gets announced. Everyone's been asking for the Millie 2 with compression lock for as long as I've been in this hobby. It comes out, it wins Knife of the Year at Blade Show 22 or whatever. It finally drops, and no one's buying it because it's just S30V and Black G10. Like, it doesn't matter. So maybe it will finally start to catch on when the Crew Air one drops. Everyone's just holding out. I get it. There's a sprint run coming too.
You know, Tom, we briefly talked about Knife of the Year.
Yeah,
I didn't really vote. This is it. This is so good.
That is actually a new model of the year. Find something better than that.
Yeah, this thing. I can't do it right-handed.
A PM2XL. Beat that.
A PM2XL. Imagine being able to like flick flop a millie. They're just badass. I actually carry it quite a bit too. Yeah, it's a chonk. It's still fun.
Are you gonna get the S90V CF one?
Totally.
Yeah, I think I might.
Yep, I'll buy the Crew Air. I'll buy that. I happen to know there's a pretty cool exclusive that I want to get when it's ready.
Ooh.
Yep. I bet he'll get to it, but he is a one-man shop, and it's really hard for him to turn around a new model. So it might be a while. I know that Steve Ripplinger at Rips Garage Tech, he has one, and he intends to put out scales and hardware for it. So we'll have that going for us. S30V is excellent. You guys are missing the boat. It's an excellent steel.
You know, if someone asks me like what knife they should buy, and you don't give me any other information other than you're buying, let's say you want to buy a knife for a gift from somebody, I will tell you to buy a black S30V version of like a Para 3 or a PM2 or whatever. If I don't know that person, if I don't know they're going to take care of a tool steel, if I don't know that they need something super fancy and expensive, S30V is good because it works for everybody, and that's why Spyderco uses it, because it provides a low failure rate with use. What's been going on this week?
Had a kid at work whip out a pocket knife and slice his hand open. Had to go to the hospital. Had to declare it to the company because it was injured on company time.
Yeah.
Caused an insurance hit. That's not so good.
No. Yeah, no.
He's a woodworker too. He's like, I can't believe it. I'm a woodworker, and I know better, and I still did it.
Yeah, it really is. Well, Jason, did we talk about who our guest next week is?
The VG10 doesn't get the love it deserves because it's the 35th best steel. It's not a good steel anymore.
Do you know why I don't like sharpening VG10? Because it's so soft that if you put it like on a surface, like a clamp, like a KME clamp, and it's got like little metal shavings in there, or an Edge Pro Apex table, and you wiggle it around a little bit, you'll scratch it because it's really soft. The same as like some of the cladding material they use in Seiki. VG10 is a scratchable material. So I recommend, I used to more often, but people use rust erasers, and then people would use rust erasers to try to fix VG10 knives, and it would just destroy them because it's a lot softer than like S30V is.
Yep. It's in terms of blade steels, it's fine, but it's fine in a Swiss Army knife, kind of fine. Not a. It's great for kitchen knives. It's not great for a knife. Where in a world where S30V is everywhere. I just don't think it's. I don't think it's competitive anymore. Brad's a woodworker. Dan, I've done a lot of drugs, and I never felt that I had any sort of addiction whatsoever until I started collecting Spydercos. Yep. So, Tom, you asked me a question, and it blew right by me. What was that?
Did we already touch base on who our guest is next week?
No, we did not.
So next week, after a lot of cajoling is a word, I think. A lot of bothering, begging, pleading, asking, praying, all the stuff. Sean Houston, otherwise known as Nawash Tone, whatever his name is on Facebook. But Sean Houston, Triple B, Handmade, Big Brown Bear. The man himself from the 15V lineup, which is now, per SHOT Show, getting the entire American lineup is getting a 15V version of it now. He will be here next week joining us to talk about steel. And he's going to make me and Jason look real dumb. He's going to real dumb. We're going to learn a lot next week, I think.
Need you guys to be nice to Sean. Like, I can tell that the internet has wounded him. When I ask him questions, I get mystical answers. He is like a
beaten dog almost when you ask him. Like, you want to feed him a treat, and he like whimpers away. Like, what might happen? You're gonna go on the forum and tell Sal on me or something.
What's the name of the ancient monk that taught Beatrix Kiddo how to be an assassin in Kill Bill? What was his name? I can't remember now. Yeah. So anyway, he's like a wise wizard that just answers you in riddles. So I'm hoping we can get some answers out of him. I'm hoping I can ask the right questions to unlock the answers. And I understand, like,
you can't ask him a question like, "What's the best steel?"
That's a bullshit question. You can't ask a question like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can't say who's the best football player, what position, what era, what do you need him to do? You know, Tom Brady won't help you if you need a linebacker. So what are you going to do when you need, like, when you want to ask a question with Sean, you got to get super specific because he knows all the parts. Like, yeah, Pi May, dude, Sean's Pi May. So I'm trying to punch through the board. And every time I punch through the board and I fail, he hits me on the head with a stick. It's like that. Pi May with a 5-point palm exploding heart technique, Tom. Did you know Lopan from Big Trouble in Little China is 94? I saw him show up on Instagram the other day.
Oh, really? He's posting thirst traps?
He was doing lines from Big Trouble into a camera, and somebody threw it out there, and it went viral for a moment. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we've got Sean Houston coming. We're talking to Eric Lesser. We're going to have Jeff Loffer on again soon. We're working on Countess Anne. Be nice. We're working on Sergio from Kunwu. We're trying to chase more guests so we can get them on. 2024, we want to have more fun. We want to have more people on.
Pete from Cedric and Ada is going to be on. We have to figure out the time difference.
Hell yeah. Pete from Cedric and Ada. I'm very excited to have him on. He's probably 15 hours ahead, Tom. So
21 hours ahead of me.
We probably will need to do something at a weird time to make it so everybody can be there. We might even need to record it and then post it later. But
Nick Shabazz will be back in April.
Really?
He gave me one of those excuses where like I'm busy until April, like blow off excuses. But then I actually watched one of his YouTube videos, and he seemed like rather stressed out and like not producing videos. And he's like, in April, life will go back to normal. So I believe him.
Yeah, the last couple of videos of his I watched didn't feel like the old Nick. It felt like he wasn't loving it, and I want the old Nick back because he's important. We need him. We need him now more than ever.
We are going to have Sean Loom with No Knives On coming up.
Kick ass.
And I'm bugging Daniel Osborne, Knives Plus, AWT, Ben Banters. I'm bugging people. We're reaching out. We're trying to make this show more episodes besides just me and Jason. Because
Tyler, I happen to know you're watching right now. You could have just been on the show. What's up with that? Like, are you bathing the children while watching? If that's the case, you can't be on. I'd rather you not come on. But you do watch a lot, so you could be on. We want you on. We're also looking at Chris Ortiz, guys. Cerberus Knives is working on something new, something exciting. I absolutely want to have Chris on. I'm very excited about him. We need to get Kenyon Ventus on here. You guys know Kenyon Ventus Sr. He is a knife maker now, and I want to get him on. We can talk to him. So keep throwing messages to us, to people. If you know a shortcut for somebody, let us know. Rich Cox, Mr. Candyman. He's in.
Candyman's going to do an episode this month or next.
Sweet. Chris Ortiz is a wonderful human.
He is. I met the man in person.
He's got the fucking Samson hair right now. He's looking like some sort of romance novel cover hunk. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
New Fabio.
We do need to have Scott Gunn on. You're right.
Scott Gunn would be fantastic.
He's on the short list for sure.
Be prepared for lots of talking. Scott is full of wisdom, and he will tell you. I don't mean he'll tell you that he's full of wisdom. He'll tell you all about it. Open book. Open book. Well, kids, we're going to let you go now. It's time to go. It's been fun. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for being here this week. We'll catch you next time. And who is the guy that did the challenge where you're supposed to do a live stream and you talk about the stuff in your pocket and a little bit about you? That's an awesome challenge. I like that. I hope people keep it going. But that popped up. I think it was somebody. His name starts with an O.
In the group?
See more of that.
This is a group thing?
In the group. Yeah.
I'll have to look at it.
Stay moist, everybody.
Stay moist.
Keep it crispy.